Obama didn't care about a worker locked in Muslim prison for 3 years, so look what Trump just did. How often was it said that Barack Obama was a president that truly loved and understood the American people? That he was a true humanitarian that was busy fighting for the little people of the United States and all over the world. Too many times for anyone to count, right? Obama only chose to help those that fit his socialist agenda and often left Christian conservatives out in the cold. That was evident when Obama allowed an Egyptian-American charity worker rot in a Muslim prison for years. That all changed when Donald Trump was elected as president, and what he just did for this humanitarian charity worker is mind-blowing. Ai Hijazi is an Egyptian-American charity worker, who has just spent the last 3 years in an Egyptian prison. However, she should have never been there in the first place if Barack Obama would have fought for her innocence. Ai and her husband, a native Egyptian named Mohammed Hussein, began a charity in the Egyptian city of Cairo. The charity was named the Belady Foundation, and Ai and her husband started it in order to help homeless children in the area. All was going along well, that is till 2014, when Ai Hijazi, her husband, and other humanitarian workers were charged with sexual abuse and human trafficking. These charges are incredibly serious, and human rights lawyers argued constantly that the charges were false and baseless. Ai was denied access to a lawyer and was held without a pretrial. Human rights groups began to use this terrifying case as an example of human rights violations under the Egyptian president Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. According to Inquisitor, the website Human Rights Watch profiled the case, pointing out that the police had no warrant and that other people who have no connection with Ai but were in the same building were also arrested. Ai and her husband were denied bail, and their trials kept getting delayed. They were essentially being held for no reason. Instead of Obama stepping in and doing his best to free Ai Hijazi, he let her rot in prison. Not for 1 year, not 2 years, but for 3 years. Ai's family did their best to petition Obama to intervene and free their daughter from the nightmare. They used social media and the U.S. Embassy to possibly free their daughter, but the relations between America and Egypt were cold, and Obama was silent. It seemed to the family that they would never see the day their precious daughter free again. However, that all changed the moment Donald Trump was elected president. This past April, President Trump and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi sat down together and had a meeting. The meeting went so well and it drastically improved the relations between the two countries that had been strained for so long. Trump praised the president of Egypt for his leadership during trying times in the Middle East. Apparently, this worked, and Sisi, pleased that he had the support of the United States again, dropped the charges against Ai. The charges were quickly dropped, and Ai and her husband were sent home to America without any issues. Shortly after arriving safe and sound, Ai wanted to meet with President Trump and thank him for securing her release. Here is more from the Washington Times. Mr. Trump greeted Ai Hijazi, an Egyptian who holds U.S. citizenship, in the Oval Office shortly after her return to the U.S. on a military flight from Cairo. "We are very happy to have Ai back home, and it's a great honor to have her in the Oval Office," Mr. Trump said. She was accompanied by her brother in the meeting, which was also attended by presidential aides Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, and Dinah Powell, a National Security Council official who was born in Egypt. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said Mr. Trump was directly engaged behind the scenes on behalf of Ms. Hijazi. She was flown to the U.S. after being acquitted by a Cairo court of human trafficking charges stemming from her work with street children. Mr. Trump praised the issue of her imprisonment with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi privately during his visit to the White House earlier this month, Mr. Spicer said. He said the president made it clear to the Egyptian government how important it was to him that this American be released and returned. "This is how a true leader takes care of business and helps the people. All it took was a conversation and a little ego-stroking to release Ai, her husband, and 4 other charity workers. Barack Obama did not care to help others unless it fit a specific agenda at the time. That is not how President Trump acts at all, which is perfectly shown in how he handled this situation. Trump knew what was right and stepped on to ensure that Aya and her husband were returned home to their loving family. Thank you, President Trump, for showing the world what a real leader does. Share to welcome Aya and her husband back home to America. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.